For more on this, I'm joined by Sky News host Ashleigh Gillon, who is from Perth in Perth. Good evening to you, Ash. It looks likely that the lockdown will lift at 6 p.m. on Friday.
Yes, Julie, with that caveat that if there are cases recorded tomorrow, there may be a change of plan. But we have now seen 4 days in a row with 0 cases. And if that trend does continue tomorrow, then yes, the Perth lockdown will lift at 6 p.m. as planned. It is quite remarkable that we haven't seen any further cases in the last few days, because we know that the security guard who caught the virus working inside hotel quarantine had 5 days out in the community. He'd visited 18 locations. But as you heard the Premier say in that grab there, the majority of close contacts have now returned negative results. They're waiting on a couple of results which will come back tomorrow. But out of more than 42,000 tests this week in Perth, there have been no positive tests. So Mark McGowan describing it as doing the job that it was meant to do in terms of the lockdown. He's assuring West Australians that his government has learnt from this experience. We know that the government's implementing new rules for hotel quarantine. Workers inside hotel quarantine will need to wear masks. They're going to be stopping hotel workers from having second jobs and implementing daily testing of quarantine workers. But also interesting to hear Mark McGowan say tonight that we shouldn't expect hotel quarantine will be foolproof. And that comes ahead of the National Cabinet meeting tomorrow, at which we do expect the hotel quarantine systems right around the country will be under the spotlight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess the question is now, Ash, what will life look like post-lockdown in Perth?
So for people in the southwest region of the state, life goes back to normal. They don't have any restrictions. They'll have full freedom from 6 p.m. tomorrow. For those living in Perth and the Peel region, we essentially have 1 more week of restrictions at this stage. And look, it's sort of the familiar story to what we've seen in other states and territories when we've seen other cities emerging from lockdowns. Masks will continue to be mandatory indoor and outdoors, although no longer for people who are out exercising. Mark McGowan said today that all venues can reopen except for casinos and nightclubs. Importantly, for all the parents out there, school will be going back on Monday. It was meant to resume this week after the long summer break, so plenty of parents will be relieved tonight to learn that their children will be going back to school on Monday. Interesting to hear Mark McGowan saying that masks will be needed to be worn at school by teachers and by senior school students, not by primary school children, and not while teachers while they're actually teaching their lessons. But masks will need to be worn, particularly on high school campuses. There will be 20-person limits for private and also outdoor venues. We'll see all hospitality venues open, but they will need to abide by that 4 square metre capacity rule, and there will be a limit of 150 people as a total capacity, and that includes weddings and funerals. Community sport can get back underway. Restaurants can serve again, but it will need to be seated service. Dancing, there were strict rules on dancing. Only at weddings and only in dance studios can West Australians get their groove on, but elective surgery will be resuming again, and FIFO workers can now leave as long as they have the correct documentation. And all of that will lift, all going to plan. Assuming we continue to record 0 cases, it'll lift by Sunday the 14th of February.
The new COVID norm. Thank you very much for the update, Ashleigh Gillon. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Julie.